So then I had to say, well, all right, well, I estimate I'll make this much next year, and therefore I got some coverage. But about halfway through the year, I forgot that I did that, and they asked for a reassessment, and I assessed myself too low. And for 2 months, I had to pay for the exact same coverage from the exact same carrier, $580 more per month. Altogether, $680 or $690 or something like that per month, more than anybody would pay in rent around here for a single person in a single little house. I'd have to pay for my coverage. So we need, I'm 61 years old, I don't get Medicare, and I have been paying at a very, as I said, good salary for many years. I have been paying into insurance, and that covers for everybody else. You know, now young people can opt out and not pay for anybody else. That's the way you're currently asking us to go, and that's not right.
My only comment has not been brought up yet. Between Bill Cosby and O'Reilly and 45, what are you going to do to improve the lives of women in this country?
Women should take care of themselves.
There's no representation. You know about representation. Women are not represented. They're not represented on committees that make decisions for women.
Sir. Okay, I think everything I had to say was said, but I would like to reiterate what Carlo said, which is, why should we vote for you again if you're not representing this community? We're asking you, we're telling you what we want. We don't see it happening. We don't see you supporting it. And I would like to present you with a list of things we would like to see covered in your agenda from the Indivisible Hernando meeting, which was held on Saturday.
May I have this?
Yes,
Thank you.
can.
Sir, did you have a comment?
I just want to say I voted for you, and I'm for this current administration as a business owner. I'm tired of government waste. I'm tired of paying health insurance when my employees get the same health insurance I'm paying $800 a month for free. I'm for you, and I have personal issues I would like to talk to you about as far as business.
Sir, the microphone is broken. Oh, she's.
Okay.
See you later, Jim.
Yes.
Does it not work?
Okay, very good. So thank you all for coming today. I really appreciate the input. There are questions about my voting. Oh, here's my card. Here it is. This is the card I use to vote. I go in, I put it in a little card reader. There's three buttons actually, red and yellow. That's red, yellow, and green. Red and green are the only 2 buttons I use. It's yes or no. Yellow is chicken. I don't use the chicken button. I vote. So now you know my record. A lot of it has been misconstrued, or things you said I voted for, which I didn't. Things you said I was for, and just it was extrapolation, not true. But my name's on here, my picture's on here. It lasts until January 4th, 2018. That's it. If I don't re-earn it, I can't really get into politics of why you should vote for me, all that. You just watch, and if you don't like it, if I don't re-earn this, you know what? I don't get reelected, and this card's no good. If you do, then I'll go back and I'll give it the best I can. I use this card the best I possibly can to benefit the citizens of this state. I'm a congressman from Florida. They don't recognize districts here. I'm the gentleman from Florida. And I'll use it these next several months to the best of my ability. I make mistakes just like everybody else. I want to give it all I got. I see problems and I try to fix them. We talked about, I can kind of sum up the environment. I last year won 2016, the champion of the Everglades Award from the Audubon Society. You don't just stumble into that. You got actually got to do things together. So whoever said I was voting against the environment, ask the Audubon Society. Ask Nature's Conservancy, who has twice given me Friend of Nature's Conservancy. So whoever was talking about that, you're wrong. Here's what it is. And it is what it is. So I use my card the best I can. Here's my deal on healthcare. Because we get into all the minutia and so forth, but this is what I believe. I went there, I had 3 principles. That's the principles I'm waiting to see. It's not in socialized medicine, it's not in a single payer system, it's not in Obamacare, it wasn't in what we had before, it's not in the bill that came up, that didn't get voted on. And that is the care we need at a price we can afford from the doctor we choose. That's it. So you take Obamacare, there's all kinds of promises made about that, there's all kinds of promises made about these new programs, but they're not gonna happen. So, did we get $2,500 savings, everybody? No, they didn't. Did we get to keep the doctor we wanted? No, we didn't. Did you get to keep the policy you had? It was set up over 100 times by the leaders who passed that bill. And no, you did not. So it's not the care we need, the price we can afford from the doctor we choose, period. That's it, that's what I wanna have. And that's what I'm aiming for, and so I'm working on it.
Give us complete
One of
coverage.
one of those things in there, you talk about taking care of people. I know from past experience in the state legislature, being Speaker of the House, Leader of the Senate, that Medicaid in this state, the most important part of it is nursing home. That's where a bulk of the money goes. It's not health care. It's actually providing housing. People move here from other states when they're healthy. They like this state because we have low taxes, very low taxes, and we have great climate. So people move here. They get older. Then 70% of them that go into nursing homes need a Medicaid nursing home bed to pay for it. The current plan that they've been talking about, and the current plan we have, is a cap program in Medicaid. But it includes Medicaid beds. So doesn't have anything to do with health care, it has to do with taking care of people at the end of their time. So what I said was, no, I don't want a cap, I want a per capita, which is what we have, but not cap. I want to move it outside that cap, just like CHIP and some other things are out there. That's what I'm waiting for. I want to see that. That's what I'm going to quote my demand that we get, so that everyone who signs up for a Medicaid bed in this state gets it. We're a high growth state because of that. We have 1,000 people moving here a day. And because of the way our system is, we have more Medicaid nursing home beds than any other place. So anyway, it's something that's very important. As far as money spending, I know people say, don't cut this, don't cut that, don't do this, don't do that. Every single dollar we spend, every dollar we borrow to spend, has a champion somewhere. And every time there's a talk about even keeping it flat, not increasing it, they show up and they want their money. Well, just know we don't have it. Every budget that's being proposed, in 10 years, if we continue down the spending track we're on, in 10 years, we'll be borrowing over $750 billion to pay the interest. That's the interest. We won't have the money to pay the interest. We're going to have to borrow money to pay for the $750 billion we'll be spending just to pay the interest on our debt. That's more than the defense budget, now and then. It's more than Medicaid. It's more than all kinds of other programs combined. And so, I've got 14 grandkids. I don't want to hand them a debt payment just to pay the interest, not paying down the debt, just paying the interest. $750 billion. Talk about the future and thinking about the future and thinking about children and others who are alive. That is the most important thing, because we can't do it. We're not going to have a country. And you don't want to cut Social Security? It's automatically cut by the statutes that exist right now when we get in that situation to 75%. And Social Security is. And I'm on Social Security and I have Medicare. Before that, I bought my own insurance. I don't take the subsidized insurance. I don't take trips all over the world at taxpayer expense. I don't spend anything that doesn't need to be spent. I don't take the dental coverage and the eye care and all that stuff at taxpayer expense. I buy my own. Because I went there to try to do a job. I didn't go there to get a benefit. I didn't go there to get a retirement. I didn't go there to get anything other than try to make it better. And the biggest thing is the debt we're facing. Everybody said, well, it's okay, we got $20 trillion in debt now and nothing's really happening. It's gonna happen. And you know what happens if the interest rate were just to tweak up, just a little bit? All the things you're talking about not cutting, we'd be forced to cut. We could not borrow the money to pay for the programs you're talking about.
Raise taxes on
So-
the rich.
Yes.
So anyway, all I'm saying is, it's an important thing. And we gotta somehow
Eliminate the
bring
subsidies to corporations.
into control. I'm not for getting rid of the EPA. I do believe they do a job, and it's an important job. And I'm not for that bill, and I'm not for other things that you talked about. I try to manage what I'm for and against. But I do believe that this country is overdoing it, and that agencies have overstepped their bounds, and they put regulations on people that just don't need to be there.
You mean business?
And I think, you think about healthcare. The more of these, quote, essential benefits that we put into a healthcare plan, the the more expensive it becomes. And so when you say, you're covered for maternity care.
I pay for it, because that's the way insurance works.
Yeah, that's right, I'm just saying,
It
you're paying
works
for
that
it.
way.
But the more you add in there, the more it costs for everybody.
works, yeah.
So anyway, the key is what we did in Florida, which we had a high-risk pool. No one, there's no policy, even the ones I don't like, no one is gonna be without coverage as far as being dropped by your insurance. There's not gonna be a cap on the amount of, on anybody's program that's been proposed. No cap, automatic acceptance, 26-year-olds, up to 26-year-old children can be on a policy.
With their
All
parents,
those
with their
things
parents.
are in every plan that's been proposed.
Sounds like the.
What about the people that make less than $12,000 a
And
year and they
so-
go to work every day? They're not covered.
Right.
They can't get insurance.
They're gonna be, at least under Obamacare, that's the other problem. Why is it that it's a problem? We're taking, for the Affordable Care Act, where it takes over $700 billion out of the Medicare Trust Fund to pay for those subsidies. So no matter where it is, there's gotta be a subsidy, no matter what it is. You can call it a tax credit, you can call it a direct subsidy, you can call it a low, high risk pool, you can call it anything you wanna call it. There's still an amount of money that's gonna have to go in to covering those that either can't afford it or are high risk and become a drain on the system. And so.
Make the rich pay. Stop capping the Social Security and
Wait a minute,
Medicare at
wait a minute. I'm
$128,000.
already over a couple minutes, so let me get mine in.
Okay.
And so here, so anyway, that's a little bit about me. Like I said, I'm there. If I'm not there, I'll come, and I don't get reelected, that's all right. I'll come home and play with my 14 grandkids. Happy doing that. They're great. It's the greatest invention ever. And so I love
You don't
them.
wanna go back?
I don't like,
Okay.
and I come home to nice weather. I don't even like the weather in Washington. But what I can tell you is, I'm gonna give it all I got while I've got this car. I'm gonna do the best I can for the citizens. I'm gonna make decisions, and some of those decisions are very hard decisions. They affect the entire world and the peace of the world. I mean, these are not just some sort of little small issues. These are weighty issues that affect the lives of billions of people.
Glad you read.
And that's
so-
why.
And
big
so what I'm trying to say is, I have a limited mind just like everybody else. I'm gonna take that mind, I'm gonna study the issues and pray over them, see what happens, and then I'm gonna vote. And if you don't like it, then, that's what I said, you're free to choose. The choice comes on election day. And if I'm not the person, then maybe there's somebody else that is. But while I'm there, while I've got the card, while I've earned it, I'm gonna go out and use it to help as many people as I possibly can. And I said I'd finish by 5 after I did. That's it. Thank you so much for coming.